And welcome to this embodied guided meditation. I'm Jennifer Roig-Francolí and I'm a coach for musicians. This is a meditation that can be useful for anybody, but I'm going to be talking about it as for musicians because I specialize in helping musicians. And I'm also a professional violinist myself, in addition to being a certified Alexander technique teacher. So, we're going to do three things today. We're going to start with something called ima. Ima means now in Japanese, and it's a nice way to bring yourself back to the present moment in mind, body, and spirit. Ima is sort of a pre-Primal Alexander awareness etude before we do the cycle. The cycle is the first awareness etude that I teach all of my students. We're going to do that after we do ima. And then we'll have 5 minutes of silent meditation together. If you are watching me now, or if you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. And it's so wonderful to have you here. And please say hello if you're here, especially so I can make sure this is working. I see. Okay, somebody's saying good morning. If you're on Facebook, especially if you're in my group, I probably can't see your name. My apologies. And also if you're on YouTube, I would love to know that this is working, so just say hi. Good morning to you over there. Welcome so much. I'm so glad to have you here. Okay, so first thing. I'm going, oh, hi, Isha. Hey, thank you for putting your name on there. I actually can see your name now for some reason. Okay, great. And Donna, hello, welcome. Great. It's so nice to actually see the pictures of you. Kenya, good morning, and to see your names and know who you are so I can actually interact with you. This is great. I've been doing this actually every week, every Monday for about 2 months, and this may be the last time that I do it. So I'm especially glad for those of you who've been able to hop on with me live today. So before I digress too much, let's get started. First thing is to just come back to yourself. So what I mean by that is remember that you are the center of your universe, of the universe, in the best way possible. And that means you're more important than the words you're hearing. You're more important than what you're seeing. If you're watching me on a screen, which you probably are, maybe look away for a moment and remember there's a whole world out there and you are really number one. And you includes everything that you believe you are. Your thoughts, your body, your emotions, your soul, your energy, your creative spirit, whatever you include in your concept of yourself, come back to that. Let's integrate all of it and remember it's really just one thing. You are one thing. And you're connected to everything. So you and I are connected very seriously, truly. When you think about space and atoms, and we are really, truly interconnected. So, coming back to yourself again, you are the center. There's infinite space around you, and you're smack in the middle of it. Now, I'd like you to prioritize your awareness of your body for a moment as we do this thing called ima. Primal Alexander was developed by Mio Morales, my partner. He is a master Alexander technique teacher who has created his unique way of understanding it, teaching it, practicing it, sharing it, living it, called Primal Alexander. And this is the first thing that we do in Primal Alexander. So ask yourself right now, I'm going to ask you, what is happening in your body right now? What are you noticing? Ask yourself, what do I notice about my body right now? What's showing up? So let's just take a few moments to check in and connect with that inner wisdom of our bodies. And just without any judgment whatsoever. You're getting curious and noticing what's happening in your body right now. And right now. And right now. Now you may have a habit to start thinking about whatever you're noticing. I want to discourage you from doing that too much. Just notice. Just take in the information as if you were somebody else. No attachment. You're just observing. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm noticing a little hint of back pain, lower back pain for me is showing up. So my response can be, oh, that's interesting. What else am I noticing? Then I notice some easing in my left thigh and a little tightening in my right thigh. Interesting. Not judging, not good or bad. It's just interesting. And then what else? What else am I noticing right now? My left foot's releasing. So that's how we play with Ima. So let's do this a little bit more. Whatever you notice. Oh, that's interesting. And move on. What else? Don't let your attention get stuck in any one place in your body. Get curious about the next place that shows up. Don't try to relax. If your body starts to relax, fine. If it doesn't, if you're noticing pain, fine. Let's not judge one or the other. There is always relative tension and relative ease happening in the body. We're either tensing in general or we're easing, releasing in general. And that happens on a micro scale, and it's always fluctuating because we're alive. We're energetic, lively creatures. So let things change. All right. Let's move on now to another question. Is there a place in your body that feels relatively comfortable, quiet, calm, easy, relaxed, compared to any previous pain or tension you might have noticed a moment ago? And hello, Violin from South Africa. Thanks for joining in. So, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Ask yourself that now. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? What else are you noticing? Is there a place in your body that's quiet and calm? And remember, it may just be the tiniest, subtlest little bit. Like if you have chronic pain and you're in pain everywhere, first of all, I feel for you. But most importantly, no two places in your body are ever going to feel exactly the same. So we want to start discerning with an increased level of sensitivity. You want to really get curious to find the differences between different parts of your body. And we're going to keep it really simple. Don't describe them, don't get interested, don't tell stories, don't remember or try to figure out why. Just notice the information that's coming up to your brain from your body. Your body is giving you messages and telling you stuff. You might feel relative tensing or pain in one area and a little bit less. And I want you to get curious about the places now that have a little bit less. Right? So where else do you seem to be easing just a little bit? Just a little bit. Ask yourself, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Good. That question is very important. If you would like the complete tutorial for what we're going to do next, which is called TheCyCle, you can go to my YouTube video. Oh yes, I made a new one recently. So if you are familiar with my old cycle video, that used to be called, and you can still find that, it was called Relax Everything in Less Than 3 Minutes, something like that. It's still good, but it's a little outdated, the way I'm doing it in that video. So I created a new one. And the new one, I think I called it the Best Alexander Technique Exercise. And I know that's going to annoy some people, but for me, in my opinion, it truly is the best Alexander Technique exercise. It's not actually an Alexander Technique exercise. It's technically a Primal Alexander awareness etude. But hey, putting it up on YouTube, it's got to be accessible to people who have no idea what this stuff is. So yes, it's the best Alexander Technique exercise, and it's the best warm-up as a musician. So if you want the full tutorial for TheCyCle, go look up that video on YouTube, and please subscribe and like it and share it and comment, and I'd be so grateful for your support of that video. The old one has so many views because it's been around, and now this one is just growing, so thank you in advance for any support you can offer of that video to help it grow and help more people know about it. So TheCyCle, just really briefly, is what we're going to do now. We're going to cycle through all 10 fingers, one at a time, holding them like this, very softly, gently. You're going to hold your thumb to begin with, and then holding your thumb softly, rest your arms so you don't have to hold them up. So I'm holding my thumb in my lap. Okay. On each finger, I'm going to count to 4. After each number, we're going to do some constructive thinking using this specific question that I just shared. And I will ask that question for all of us out loud after each number for the first few fingers or the first hand or so. And then I'll start to trail off, and that's when you can take over and ask the question for yourself mentally. You can do it out loud if you want, but you want to develop the mental question for yourself. When you're doing this by yourself, you can say the numbers out loud or mentally, but once you've learned it, you start to ask the question mentally. Okay. So by the way, keep your eyes open. It's very important. I'm not going to get into why, but keep your eyes open. You want to stay aware of what's inside and outside and have a unified field of attention. And now we're not going to be going down into our bodies to find places like we did with Ima. This is now different. With TheCyCle, we've already gone through that. We're feeling more integrated now already. And you want to be asking this question in a way that's carefree, lighthearted, and you're tossing the question up and out of you and letting it go. You'll notice whatever you need to notice in your body. If you notice tension, that's fine. Just come back up and throw the question up and out again. You want your awareness to rise up and out while including whatever comes up in your body. Whatever you notice, you notice. Okay? If you have questions about any of this, please type them into the comments. If you're watching the replay, tag me. I do my best to come back to these and check in with everybody afterwards. All right. So again, starting with the thumb, here we go. 1. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Index finger. Remember, we're holding each finger very softly, one at a time. 1. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Middle finger. Let your eyes be open and let your eyes be free. They're free to look around, take in what they're seeing. Middle finger, sorry I got lost. I might be doing the middle finger again. My apologies if I'm doing it twice. 1, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Ring finger. Notice I'm moving through these questions rather rapidly. I don't want you to take time to figure out an answer to this question. This is not about finding an answer. It's not about having a feeling. It's simply about waking up your curiosity and asking this question and throwing it up and out gently, softly, quietly, letting it go, and not needing an answer or a feeling. 1. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? I don't know. Who cares? 2. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Good. Pinky. 1. Where else do I seem to be easing? 2. Where else do I seem to be easing? 3. 4. Good. Other hand, thumb. 1. Where else? 2. 3. Where else? 4. Index finger. See if you can turn down the volume on the intensity of how you're thinking. Can you think with just a whisper of a thought and it's gone, disappearing, dissolving, evaporating as soon as you've thought it? 1. And where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2. Where else? 3. Where else? 4. Middle finger. 1. 2. 3. 4. Ring finger. 1. Where else? 2. Where else? 3. Where else? 4. Where else? Pinky. 1. Where else? 2. 3. 4. Good. If you didn't have time to use all the words in the question, it doesn't matter. It's not the words are important. Having the specific words that I'm giving you, write them down. Most people get the words wrong. They substitute the word feel or feeling without realizing they're doing it. You don't want to fall into that trap, so write it down, even though it seems like the easiest thing in the world. 99 out of 100 people change the words, and these are important. They've been tested over a long period of time with many, many people. They work. So you want to ask the question with the right words, and yet it's not about the words, it's about the attitude that you are bringing to the words, the questioning, the curiosity, the openness, the sending a question up and out and not requiring a result. This is so important. This is the essence of the Alexander technique. Alexander said, quote, "Mine is a method for the control of human reaction," end quote. So if you can learn to ask this question with curiosity and throw it out there and not need to have an answer, a feeling, a result, a response. We call that in Alexander jargon not end gaining. Don't even ask. Come take my classes if you want to understand more about what that is. End gaining is a huge topic. It's basically wanting a result now and paying more attention to the goal than the process. I guarantee, I dare you, by the way, if you do the cycle twice a day for a week with this attitude, the way I'm teaching it today, I guarantee, I can pretty much promise, I don't know you personally, but I've taught this to hundreds of people. And I can pretty much guarantee that if you do it this way for a week, twice a day, you will absolutely notice some interesting changes that are very positive. Do this as a warm-up before you practice. Do it before a performance. Do it the day of a performance if you have performance anxiety. It's incredibly beneficial. And I just want to emphasize that the cycle, as wonderful as it is, truly wonderful, sometimes miraculous for people, I'm not exaggerating, as wonderful as it is, it's only the very first taste of an infinite world that's possible through the Art of Freedom method and the Alexander technique as taught without the hands, specifically Primal Alexander, as created by Mio Morales. It is absolutely unbelievable what's possible. You have no idea if you've never done more than the cycle. And it frustrates me to no end that there is such incredible stuff that's available to anybody curious and willing to take a little risk and try this stuff out. So I want you to know this is only the first step, and it's amazing when you learn how to think this way, to do constructive thinking, and apply it to your instrument and your performance. When you learn how to practice playing scales, arpeggios, etudes, musical etudes, playing Tchaikovsky concerto, applying constructive thinking to the minute specific details is challenging unless you have a system to teach you how to do it. That's what I offer. So I just had to say that because so many people benefit from the cycle and then miss that there's a whole world after it. So I invite you to get in touch with me if you're curious and you want to learn more. I would love to share that with you. Okay, so let's finish up for today with our 5 minutes of silent meditation, in which I invite you to close your eyes, open your eyes, do whatever you do that's helpful for you in this 5 minutes of silent meditation. If you have a contemplative practice that you practice, feel free to do that. If you have a religious prayer, whatever you'd like to do. If you have a paying attention to your breath meditation practice, you can do that. I also suggest that you could continue what we were just doing and do some more constructive thinking. You could do another cycle, or two actually. You can probably fit 2 into 5 minutes. You can do that, maybe even 3. Or if you are one of my students, you could do some etudes if you prefer. Or you can just sit, be quiet, be calm, be a witness, notice, just be and live. So let's do this for a moment, for 5 minutes. And I'd like to set an intention, just briefly, for each of us individually to find more peace and calm, better health, happiness, and improved musical skills through this process. That's my intention for all of us, each of us as individuals. And then I'd like to also offer an intention for peace in the world and for the healing of our planet. So let's come together, bring our mind, body, energy, whole selves together, because we are connected, even if you're watching the replay. This is beyond time and space, my understanding, my experience. So I'm going to watch the clock here and attempt to keep this around 5 minutes. And here's a fun little noise that I'm going to use to indicate when we're done, so you can hear it now. This is going to be how we start, too. Starting now. Actually, I didn't like that one. Let's use this one instead. There we go. Gotta have a lighthearted, happy attitude whenever possible. Okay, so starting now. 5 minutes of silent meditation. find that sound funny. Thank you so much for joining me today, for watching the replay if you couldn't make it live. I haven't yet decided whether this is the last of these Monday guided meditations or not. Maybe I'll move to a monthly meditation. But you can find recordings of these meditations in my Facebook group. If you're not a member yet, please join us. It's called The Musician's Advantage. And the Musician's Advantage with Jennifer Roig-Francolí specifically. If you enjoyed this video, you can find those there or on my YouTube channel. And I would be very grateful if you would subscribe. You can find the button here if you're on YouTube. Subscribe and like and comment and share this video with other musicians. There are other videos that I've made to talk about why this is so important, but suffice it to say that we need to develop a strong ability, mental strength, strong ability to have constructive, conscious control over ourselves. And as the creator of the Art of Freedom method for conscious living and masterful artistry and a coach for musicians, I can't stress strongly enough how valuable it is to have a regular meditation practice, but especially an embodied meditation practice, and specifically TheCyCle that we did earlier on in the video is the best thing that I know. It's the best way to really be fully yourself. And then if you are in that space of being fully yourself with mind, body, emotions, energy, spirit, and then you bring that to your musical instrument, you're going to play so much better, and you're going to practice better. Your practice will be more efficient, more effective. Your pain will start to dissolve. It's happened over and over and over again with hundreds of musicians that I've taught whose pain has disappeared, whose performance anxiety is reduced or gone, and their skills dramatically improve so much faster when they have the skills that I'm teaching here. So, thank you so much for being here. Isha says, thank you, Jennifer, perfect for my golden period. Isha is one of my wonderful students, and the golden period is what I teach as the time before you practice, before you perform. And yes, the cycle that we did today is the best warm-up. Again, you can find the complete tutorial on YouTube. Just look up the best Alexander technique exercise and you will find it. Donna says, thank you, have a great day. You're welcome. Thank you, Donna. You have a great day as well, and everybody watching. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you next time.